Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We get to finish with Act 1, Scene 3 of Troilus and Cressida today, which is super exciting because it's been a very long scene with a lot of big monologues in them, which really only hit in total like 2 plot points. So anyway, those plot points, and we're going to get to hear from Ulysses today. So those plot points that we hit are that the Greek army is not doing well. There's infighting. Nobody likes anybody. They just sit around and make fun of their commanders. So whenever their commanders actually try to command, nobody listens to them and pays attention to what needs to be done. But then Aeneas, who is a Trojan messenger, came in and said, Hector wants to fight one of y'all. And it can be any of you. He's just getting bored and he wants to fight somebody. So tomorrow morning, send somebody out. And the presumption with this challenge is that it's supposed to be like the Greek champion goes out to fight Hector, the Trojan champion. And it should be good entertainment and maybe, I don't know, end the war. That isn't really discussed. But anyway, Aeneas and Agamemnon and Menelaus all leave so that Aeneas can like have some food before he has to go back to Troy. But then Ulysses held Nestor back and was like, you know, I have a thought. And he's like, I think that this specifically was a challenge for Achilles, right? That's the impression that you were getting. And Nestor was like, yeah, it makes sense that that Hector would want to fight Achilles, so we should send Achilles out. And Ulysses like, no, we shouldn't. We should not send out Achilles because that would be bad for us kind of either way that it goes. And Nestor's like, I don't quite understand how that could be bad for us. And Ulysses explains by saying, what glory our Achilles shares from Hector, were he not proud, we all should wear with him. But he is already too insolent. And we were better parched in Afric's son than in the pride and salt scorn of his eyes should he scape Hector fair. If he were foiled, why then we did our main opinion crush in taint of our best man. No, make a lottery, and by device let blockish Ajax draw the sword to fight with Hector. Among ourselves, give him allowance as the worthier man, for that will physic the great Myrmidon who broils in loud applause, and make him fall his crest that prouder than blue iris bends. If the dull, brainless Ajax comes safe off, we'll dress him up in voices. If he fail, yet go we under our opinion still that we have better men. But hit or miss, our project's life this shape of sense assumes. Ajax employed plucks down Achilles' plumes. So this is actually kind of a threefold plot, at least a twofold plot, if not a threefold plot that he's sharing here. And what he's saying is, you know, if Achilles goes out and beats Hector, we should all share in that joy. But Achilles is already so full of himself that it will be seen as his victory, not our victory. And he's like, I would rather, you know, sit outside and burn in the sun than have to deal with how arrogant Achilles is going to become if he defeats Hector. If Hector defeats Achilles, we have nowhere else to go because we've sent our best guy out there and now he's dead. So what we should do is we should create a lottery where guys can throw their names into a hat, and we'll fix it so that we pull Ajax's name out of the hat. Because remember, Ajax thinks he's as good as Achilles, and he's doing a lot of the same stuff in terms of mocking the generals and commanders and all that sort of thing. So he's like, let's pull Ajax's name out, because, and you know, amongst ourselves we'd be like, Ajax, he's a great fighter, he's totally gonna win this. You know, we'll talk him up as we send him out to fight Hector. If he beats Hector, fantastic, we can celebrate that. If Hector beats Ajax, we know we still have an ace in our back pocket with Achilles. You know, we haven't shot ourselves in the foot. But also, the mere fact that Ajax is chosen as our champion instead of Achilles will deflate Achilles' ego at least a little bit. And that's really what we need to have happen. Because if his ego is a bit deflated, then maybe he'll stop making fun of the commanders and we'll actually be able to command an army again. And Nestor's like, ooh, I like this plan. This is a good plan. Let's go and make this happen. And that's the end of Act 1, Scene 3. So we're starting to get a bit more of a plot here. And it might seem interesting that the play is called Troilus and Cressida, but we've spent so much time in this Act 1, Scene 3 building this entire plot that so far has nothing to do with Troilus and Cressida. I mean, we know that Troilus loves Cressida and Cressida loves Troilus, and Pandarus is going to factor into that somehow. So we have these two things going on. We've got the romance, which we will get back to, I promise, and we've got this whole war and scheming and battles within the war thing going on, which we will definitely explore more before the play ends. And yeah, lots of stuff to still figure out. So come on back tomorrow for more as we dig into Act 2. I'll see you then. Mwah.